Moses means Jesus. It says, meanwhile, while Moses was shepherding the flock, let me go right here. Meanwhile, while Moses was shepherding the flock of his father-in-law, Jethro, the priest of Midian, he led the flock to the far side of the wilderness and came to Horeb, the mountain of God. Then the angel of the Lord, you see who appeared? I want y'all to remember that, underline it. If y'all got that in your Bible, underline it. If you able to put it on your phone, use your High Life, you got the Bible app. If you looking at this and you watching this on YouTube, pull out your cell phone, take a picture of this. I want y'all to understand and catch the angel of the Lord. So when y'all see this, when I start showing you this same verses in the New Testament, what Jesus is saying, that's him, you won't be lost. You'll understand what I mean. So you can always see, okay, Jesus was in the Old Testament. He was here the whole time. Because he's the Alpha and Omega. He's the beginning and the end. Then the Lord appeared to him in a flame of fire within a bush. As Moses looked, he saw the bush was on fire, but was not consumed. Check the reading. Check how it's being worded. So Moses thought, I must go over and look at this remarkable sight. Why isn't the bush burning up? When the Lord saw that he gone over to look, God called out to him from the bush, Moses, Moses, here am I, he answered. Who called Moses from out of the bush? Who called Moses from out of the bush? We seen it said the angel of the Lord was there. Now we seeing that the angel of the Lord is God. The angel didn't leave and then God jumped in the bush. They're one of the same. Do not come closer, he said. Take your sandals off, for the place you are standing is holy ground. Now this is the angel telling Moses about his feet being on holy ground. When Joshua was near Jericho, he looked up and saw a man standing in front of him with the drawn sword in his hand. Joshua approached him and asked, "Are you for us or for our enemies?" I've seen this preached a lot of time, but I didn't know that this was the angel of the Lord and didn't realize that this was Christ. Verse 14, neither, he replied, I have now come as a commander of the Lord's army. He said he's a commander of the Lord's army. Then Joshua bowed with his face to the ground in worship and asked him, what does my Lord want to say to his servant? You only supposed to worship God. You're not supposed to worship or bow down to an angel. And you're not supposed to call an angel the Lord. This is the thing that I'm showing you so you can understand the difference. But watch what happens in verse 15. The commander of the Lord's army said to Joshua, remove the sandals from your feet, for the place you are standing is holy. And Joshua did so. The same thing that we seen, put a button in that, in Exodus 3:5. That's the same angel of the Lord, because this is the same angel of the Lord, which is a Christophany, which is the Lord. This is the messenger of the Lord. This is the Memrod. This is the word. So this angel of the Lord is the same which becomes Christ, who's speaking and about to start a covenant, because any angel can't do that. So let's go to verse 6 to kind of prove this. Then he continued, this is what the angel is saying. I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. Moses hid his face because he was afraid to look at God. Nowhere in here, we're at verse 6. From verse 2 to verse 6, did it ever stop where the angel of the Lord stopped speaking? So the whole time, Moses recognizes the angel of the Lord as being God. Then the Lord said, I have observed the misery of my people in Egypt and have heard them crying out because of their oppressors, and I know about their sufferings. So if the people's crying out, this is another word, another way of saying, I'm praying to God, I'm crying out, I need help. You can't pray out to an angel. But you can pray to God in heaven and he hears you and he can send an angel. So for this angel of the Lord to know what's going on to the people in Egypt, know about their oppressors and know about their sufferings, he have to be more than just an angel. And I come down to rescue them from the power of the Egyptians and to bring them to the land of good and spacious land flowing with milk and honey, the territory of the Canaanite, Hittites, Amorite, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites. It's telling you already about the ites. And this same angel of the Lord is saying, I'm bringing them to the promised land. That's what I'm here for. The Israelites' cry for help has come to me, and I have also seen the way the Egyptians are oppressing them. Therefore, go, I am sending you to Pharaoh so that you may lead my people, the Israelites, out of Egypt. It says the angel of the Lord did this. But Moses asked God. See, it don't say Moses asked the angel of the Lord, say he asked God, because he's recognizing this angel is God. Who am I that I should go and that should bring the Israelites out of Egypt? So he's saying, what am I going to tell them? Like, I don't know your name. What am I going to tell them? Because they serve multiple gods in Egypt. So you have to have a name so they can recognize what God is delivering them. Delivering, the word sozo, the same word as save. He answered, I will certainly be with you, and this will be the sign to you that I have sent you. When you bring the people out of Egypt, you will all worship the God at this mountain. Then Moses asked God, if I go to Israel and say to them, the God of your fathers have sent me to you, and they ask me, what is his name? What should I tell them? God replies to Moses, I am who I am. This is where we get the word Yahweh or Yud-Heh-Vav-Heh. This is where we get the Tetragrammaton. This is where we get the word Lord. Let's give them some proof, Pastor. God said to Moses, I am who I am. This is who you say, I am has sent me to you. Interlinear is the original version. The original Hebrew version. That's why I always click interlinear. Watch this. I want y'all to see this. I am. Moses said to God, has sent me. And we see that this is the Lord, right? This is where we get Yud-Heh-Vav-Heh, because there was no W, so they will always pronounce it with a V. Yud-Heh-Vav-Heh, where we get Yehovah, the Lord, which means self-existent one. Yehovah or Jehovah, because there were no J's, so it was Jehovah. So that's what this Yahweh means. Yehovah, Yud-Heh-Vav-Heh, Jehovah, all that means Lord. If we go to our Bible, if we go back to the Bible, right? On the contrary, what does it say? The message is near to you, in your mouth and in your heart. This message of faith that has proclaimed. If you confess with your mouth Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God has raised him from the dead, you will be saved. So we just seen in the Old Testament and Exodus 3, the angel of the Lord is speaking on the behalf of God, but the angel of the Lord is making a covenant with Moses and saying that he is God. And he said he wants his name to be Lord forever. But in order for you to be saved, you got to call on the name of the Lord, right? But Peter in Acts 4:12, he says there is salvation in no one else, for there is no other name under heaven given to people by which we must be saved. I'll go back to verse 11 so you can see who he's talking about. This Jesus is a stone despised by builders who has become the cornerstone. So that name is showing me that he's the Lord. So we have to understand and believe in Trinity and believe in the triune God, because God is saying that he's God, the Father, and now the Son is saying that he's God, and he's saying that he's Lord. But then to break it down even more, when the Pharisees came to Jesus, he says the same Exodus statement. Jesus said to them, I assure you, before Abraham was, I am. Because the people was talking to him and he was telling them that Abraham was happy to see my day, because Jesus came to Abraham in Genesis 15 as the word of the Lord and made the covenant with Abraham about blessing him with the sands of the sea. But then when he says that, now we all the way, now when Jesus on the scene in flesh, the people are saying, how do you know Abraham? You too young. Because he said your father Abraham was overjoyed that he would see my day. He saw it and was rejoiced. The Jews said to him, you're not even 50 yet. How you seen Abraham? And then he says, before Abraham was, I am. The reason why it says I am, because that's the same I am for Exodus 3. Man, I hope y'all got this thing.